So you need to prepare a visually unique PowerPoint presentation, and all you can do is stare at the blank slide wondering what to do with all that white space. I'm Dr. Toria Davis, Instructional Designer for the Online and Professional Studies Division of California Baptist University. In just a few short minutes, you'll be able to apply 4 easy steps to designing a visually unique PowerPoint presentation, beginning with a blank slide. Here are the 4 easy steps. Choose a color scheme, select a font family, identify a layout, and arrange the text on the slide. Before we begin to apply these 4 easy steps, we will need to have the content of our presentation and the visuals for our presentation already on hand. For demonstration purposes, let's use an excerpt from my 2004 dissertation study to describe the research question and the participants. You may not have noticed this before, but many topics have brand colors, meaning the professional design community may have already associated your topic with a set of colors called a palette, making the decision easier. Let's search our topic in Google Images and see what colors are dominant. Looking at the Google Images for African American students, what do we see? A variety of colors. Clothing colors that are orange, blue, yellow, pink. Colors that are bold and sharp. Not a lot of pastel colors, and not a lot of gradients or patterns. So the colors I choose should be bold and solid. Now that we have a general idea about the colors related to our topic, we can start to select our colors. To help us with that, let's use a web tool called Adobe Color. On this site, we can explore color palettes and even use the search bar to plug in our topic or something similar and see what's available. Here, I typed in Africa since African American students doesn't show many results. You can see that many of the colors match that of our Google search. Once we have a color palette selected, let's use 2 of these colors and another as a highlight color. Make note of the RGB color numbers. We'll refer to them when finding the colors in PowerPoint. To fill the slide with the color, first draw a rectangle over the entire slide. Then, send the rectangle to the back. To change the color to a color from our color palette, we will click to change the fill. Select more colors, and then put in the RGB numbers from one of the colors that you choose. Easy step number 2, select a font family. You may ask, how do I know what fonts look well together? To find a font family, consider visiting fontpair.co. Here, you can preview a combination of sans serif and serif font pairs, as well as thick and thin line font pairs. To download the fonts you chose, click Download and follow the directions to install them based upon your system. You can Google how to do that for the system you are working on. To change the font of your title, highlight the text and select the font that you installed. This brings us to easy step number 3, layout. There are many ways to lay out content on a slide. For the introductory slide, we're going to use the rule of thirds, meaning we will place an image covering 1/3 of the slide or maybe even 2/3 of the slide, but we won't place the image in the middle of the slide. You may choose to add another image as well, but since I don't want this image to compete with the image that represents the topic of the presentation, I'm going to fade this image just a bit into the background. Taking a look at this slide, I'm satisfied with it, and I'm ready to move on to slide 2 and begin working with the content of my presentation. And now we're ready for easy step number 4, arranging text on the slide. How will you draw the viewer's eye to the most important content on the slide? We'll do this in 4 ways. First, we'll make sure we have only one main point per slide. This may result in more slides in your presentation. However, it will not lengthen your presentation. Instead, your presentation will appear upbeat and move quickly. Second, use high-resolution images. You can screen capture your images, download copyright or royalty-free images, or you can use images from subscription services. To find high-resolution images on Google, search for the topic, select Tools, click Size, and select Large. To identify images for reuse or modification, select Usage Rights. The third step is to use plenty of white space so that the viewer is not distracted by content that is not important. Lastly, use visual cues. Visual cues can be the consistent placement on the slide of the text and images. It can be content with high contrast or repetitive elements. It can be arrows and other shapes, icons, and formatted text that direct the eye to look at specific information. Let's take a look at two different examples for creating visual interest with statistics. One way is to create a cool transparency effect over images. Once you have images selected, adjust them so that they are all the same size. Next, draw an oval that covers the image completely and repeat for all the images. By clicking inside each of the ovals, you are able to add text. So let's add some statistics. Using the transparency slider, make the ovals transparent enough to see the image behind it. To create the effect, we are going to add animations by clicking on the Animations tab and applying the fade effect to each of the ovals. The second way to create visual interest is with a donut chart. To start, select Charts and choose Donut. This will prompt Excel to open to put in the data associated with the topic. With the data highlighted, click Insert, followed by Recommended Charts and then All Charts. Select Pie Chart and then Donut Chart, followed by OK. Choose a donut chart design and edit the colors to match the color scheme you selected. To change the color for a section of the donut, right-click the section to be changed and select the color desired. Next, change the title. Adjust the font size, and color. And then click OK. Do the same to the legend or delete the legend based on your preferences. Once the chart edits are complete, copy the chart into the presentation and adjust the size for the space available. You can also add an image to the middle of the donut if you choose. You may also make other types of infographics by going to sites such as canva.com. So let's review. To create a visually unique presentation starting with the dreaded blank slide, apply the following 4 easy steps. Choose a color scheme, select a font family, identify a layout, and arrange text on the slide. With these 4 easy steps, you are only limited by your own creativity.